What's up, chat? This doesn't look right. This doesn't look right either. Give me a second. Huh. I think I found a look. Might be wrong though. That's right, but you need something else. Boom. Never see anything more stylish than this. Alright, now let's get into what the title says. We're matchmaking the main card after UFC Perth. Because I gotta get more videos out. And we're only doing the main card because, well, who's on the prelims? That's interesting enough. Cam Ralston. Are they both middleweight? If they're both middleweight, do Cam Ralston versus Junior Tafa. No. Umar Sy? Because I think one of them's light heavyweight. Because Umar Sy's a fraud and he's terrible. Alright, now the main card. First of all, Tai Tuivasa, this guy gets cut. The opponent you were facing, 0-2. I think, maybe not in the UFC, but he was 2-fight losing streak. Both by first round knockout. And you got schooled. You got just taken down. And if I recorded my fight reaction, you would have seen he stuffed a takedown. And I was like, alright, get up now. Get up, you're on his back. And then he sits there and holds him. And then gets reversed and loses the entire fight because of it. Because he's pathetic. For now, his opponent, though, the guy who's pathetic, let's check. Did he just win after 2 losses? Yep. 2 first round. Oh, no, one of them was a heel hook to Walter Walker. Yeah, he's 0-2 in UFC, and they gave him Tuivasa on short notice. Short notice, by the way. I'd say give him Shamil Gaziev. You know, the blob maxer himself. I know Tuivasa would be the blob, but there's no Tuivasa anymore, and Gaziev just got KO'd. It's sad. But I'd say Shamil Gaziev versus Cam Ralston. Not Cam Ralston, Louis Sutherland. I don't know why I had Cam Ralston on the mind. Brajo Petarek versus Shamil Gaziev. We already made Shamil Gaziev's next fight. So, who do I have for his opponent? Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Ooh, Marcin Tybura. Tybura, we need these new guys in. We need these old guys out, you know. Tybura's 40. He just lost to whoever he lost to. And whenever he fights a real opponent with pop in his hands, he gets smoked. Whenever he fights a top guy, he gets smoked. Treasures. I remember when that fight happened and Tybura won, I thought he lost. And I got up and I left my room. And when I came back, I was like, Tyrell Fortune. His last name's Fortune. Tyrell Fortune beat him? When? I swear the decision. And then I found out they had to recall it because they added up wrong. So do Tybura versus the guy who knocked out Fiziev. That's a good fight right there. Rakiki versus some other guy. Ooh, I heard, who's O'Malley's training partner? That guy who just got a knockout on the Apex card like a few weeks ago. The guy who looks like a black-haired O'Malley. Him versus Rakiki would be good, I'm thinking. But him versus Dober, because I think they're at lightweight. Him versus Dober would be a good one. You know, you gotta give these prospects to some of these legends, man. Him versus Dober. Him versus Dariush. Because Dariush should just be unranked. Because, I guess I'm gonna give Dariush another fight. But him versus Dariush should be a good one as well. Or you just give him one of those unranked guys, you know? I'm trying to think who's on the... Give him a Thiago Moises next. Why not? Just let him knock out Thiago. For his opponent, what is he, 4-3? He's 4-3, and they just gave him Rakiki. 4-3 in the UFC? That's a tough one. I don't know who they should give it to. Feed him to the walls. Give him some, like... Give him Dober next. Yeah, that's a good one. Steve Ercek versus Tim Elliott. Oh, boy. Now, that was a good one. I slept through the first 2 minutes of it. And I woke up and I was like, oh, is it the fight preview? And then I went, oh, no. It's actually fighting. So I didn't see the most of the first round, so I didn't really score well. But no, Ercek won the second and third. Clearly. I think Ercek should fight the winner of Sumadoji versus Alex Perez. And I really hope it's Sumadoji, because that'd be a good fight. I don't think he deserves some crazy jump up. You barely beat Ode Osborne. You had a close one, but you did beat Tim Elliott. So and you were on a 3-fight losing streak. I think you gotta kind of build yourself up a little better than that. I think you need to fight Sumadoji or Perez. And maybe I wouldn't have minded a Charles Johnson fight, but I want to see him back in there soon. I want to see him back in there for... Oh, well, we gotta wait for UFC China first, which is end of this month. So... Yeah, him versus Sumadoji and versus Perez. Now for Tim Elliott, maybe he should rematch Tagir Limbekov. I want to see Tagir back in there. And that'd be fine to see him lose again to Elliott. Because then it just shows how much of a fraud he is. And he was on a 4-fight win streak, and they made him fight Kyogi Horiguchi. And that doesn't look like a bad loss. Kyogi's great. He just beat Albazi. I wouldn't mind seeing Albazi versus Erceg. That would be a good one. See if Albazi is a top fighter. He beat Kara France, though we see it as a robbery. He went 5 rounds with him, and Steve didn't even go 2. So... Let's go Erceg versus Albazi, Erceg versus Sumadoji. One or the other. Only if Sumadoji wins. I don't think, Yeah, I don't think so. Co-main event, Quinlan Salkield versus Benil Dariush. This video did good views. 200 yesterday. And I'm very excited to see what Quinlan can do next. And he called out Gamrot. No, I want to see Quinlan Salkield versus Dan Hooker. We need a good fight. Dan Hooker's... What is he? 5-3? No, 3-5, I meant. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He tried to take down Benoit Saint-Denis, and he lost because of it, because he's a dumbass. Pissed me off so much, that did. That card was terrible from what I can remember. That Volk Lopez fight was awful. Was so bad. Oh my god. Lopez, if he wants another title shot, he has to beat Garcia, Yair, and then, I'd rather see him versus, like, Aljo next. Unless he loses to Garcia. Let's say he wins all his fights. Let's do him, Yair versus somebody. If Yair wins that, we could do another fight. We can do him versus Lopez. That'd be good, man. Lopez versus... beats Garcia, beats Aljo, beats Yair. And then I wouldn't mind him being a title fight now. As long as it's not against Volkanovski. Because I don't want to see him versus Volk 3. No one does. Quinlan Salkield versus Hooker would be the fight next. And I said for Benil, give him to Rakiki. Give him to Manuel Torres. Just rebook the Manuel Torres fight. Give him another matchup of doom. Basically putting his life on the line at that point. Just do it. I mean, we need the new guys in the division. We need new contenders. For the main event, CP Carlos Prates. That's his name, Carlos Prates. Wait for the title fight. Islam or Gary. I want to see him versus Morales. I want to see Morales versus Usman. I think that'd be a great fight. I don't think. And that would be a great number 1 contenders fight for who has the title after. And I guess they might do Gaethje Ilya. Or Ilya versus Islam at welterweight after Islam's next fight, if he wins it. But at that point, just go back to lightweight and do a vacant belt with Carlos and either Usman or Morales. That'd be a great fight. And for Jack Della Maddalena, he got his ass whooped. I'd like to see him versus the winner of Brady versus Buckley, who's probably going to be Brady. He's very good wrestling. But that'd be a great fight. I mean, either you get a big, great boxer or you get a nice pressure wrestler in your next fight, and he needs a rebound. And I think he'd beat Buckley. I think he'd beat Brady, just like that. So that's my matchmaking list. Toodle pip. Goodbye.